Hi, thank you so much for using this free resource. I hope that it helps you figure out what is best for you for your degree. And if you're looking at this and it looks like a bunch of jumbled messaging, please know that I do offer custom degree plans, and you're more than welcome to reach out to me. I keep my plans very affordable, very direct, and easy to use, very user friendly. I've helped hundreds of people really tackle their degree. And if you are coming to UMPI with prior credits from other institutions and schools, or even from military credits, joint services, please just know that it would be better to have a custom plan. There are a lot of ins and outs, and I want to make sure that you have the fastest, easiest path for you based on your prior learning and your future goals. I did want to walk you through the spreadsheet though, because there's a lot of information here, and I think that it's just really important for people to understand how everything is laid out. So on the main page, obviously, I want you to watch this video. And then what you can also do is just save a copy of this to your own computer. To do that, you're going to go to File and you're going to go to Make a Copy. And that will save a copy to your Google Drive. Or you could download it as an Excel spreadsheet as well. If you go back to File, you can go to Download and save it as any of these file types. A little bit about me. My name's Christy. I have helped a lot of people navigate UMPI. I am also an alumni. I graduated with my bachelor's in liberal studies with multiple minors in 2024. And then I went back and did my master's in fall of 2024. And I have a master's of arts and organizational leadership from UMPI. I accelerated through the program because I had a lot of career experience and professional experience that lended really well to the course curriculum that I was doing. But for many people, it does take them a few sessions. These degree plans can be done in one session, which is 8 weeks. But I will be honest with you, I think if most people go into it with a plan of at least 2 sessions, that's probably a bit more realistic. And with grading times and those pieces, that's kind of what I've seen over the last year of really helping people more intentionally and staying in contact with them throughout their degree process. So just know that going in, it can be done, and this question gets asked all of the time in the various forums, but be realistic about it. Still, getting a bachelor's degree for under $5,000 is an incredible thing to be able to do. So this spreadsheet is focused primarily on study.com, Sophia, Straighterline, and Sailor Academy, as well as Coursera certifications. Anything beyond that, you would have to bring that in from another school, but this spreadsheet is built for the masses. It's built for people who probably are starting from scratch and they just need to get going and they want to know where to start. If you are looking for something more custom, I beg you, please just reach out to me. I will see how I can help and make sure that you know exactly what you need to do. I do have a few other videos on how to transfer your Credly credits. That's linked there. I also have, if you've already received a transfer audit from UMPI, how to share that audit with me, so that I can kind of figure out what you're missing and where you need to fill in the blanks with some of the other ACE providers like Study Sophia, etc. And now for how to use the spreadsheet. So along the bottom of the spreadsheet, there are multiple tabs, many tabs actually. If you hit these arrows, you're going to scroll over and you're going to see even more. And the last tab will be the timelines tab. I have actually just recently updated this spreadsheet as of October 2025. Nothing really changed, but I changed some of the information that's in here for people to make things a little bit easier. So on the helpful resources tab, there are a lot of different links here. There are some, information around if you decided you wanted to do CLEP exams. So those are just kind of ways you can test out of certain courses. This is the equivalency link for UMPI. And then Modern States is a place that you could go where you could get free CLEP exam vouchers. I know some people who have really enjoyed doing CLEP exams. If that's something that gets you excited, go for it. But these plans are not built around CLEP, with the exception of a couple of courses that I would recommend you consider CLEPing. And then, just a few other pieces. If you're doing the BLS, you need to do at least 4 courses in the BLS at UMPI. Your first minor will not dually cover any of your upper levels. Your second minor can dually cover the upper level credits, and I'll talk about that more when I get to those tabs. And then if you wanted to ask for a specific professor, this is kind of the process that you would go through. Noting that professors at UMPI, the grand majority of them did not write the course curriculum. So they are essentially graders, and I don't want to downplay their, credentials and all of those things, but they didn't write the course. They're not professing. They're not teaching you anything, really. They're just grading your papers and giving you feedback accordingly. So just note that. The next tab, this is probably one of the more important tabs, is the GEC tab. So these are the general education credits that you're going to need for every degree at UMPI, minus the associate's degrees. Those are a whole nother topic that are not part of the spreadsheet. If you want an associate's degree, reach out to me direct. This I have broken down into what you can do at Sophia and what you can do at Study. Everything in the Gen Ed has coverage between one or the other. But there have recently been some changes, and they're really positive changes on the study front. You can now do an unlimited number of courses throughout the month. You have 2 classes open at one time, but you can do an unlimited number of courses and testing. And they are open book now, non-proctored open book finals. So highly recommend considering Study for that reason. Sophia is basically the same now. You can only have 2 courses open at any given time. And when you're doing those 2 courses, finish one, add another, finish another, add another. So very similar to the Study format. Study, I think, is a really great resource, though, for a lot of folks, especially when you're doing the BBA. And I'll talk about that in a moment, because you're already going to be at Study for some things that don't have Sophia equivalency. So it might make sense for you to really utilize your membership and get the most out of it. I have highlighted in green my recommendation, and of course you can do whatever you want to do, but these are my recommendations for what to take in each of these categories. Now note that some of these things will say duplicate next to them. So for example, 1A is covered by English Composition 1, as is 1D. You're going to get credits for it here, but you're not going to get extra credit for it here, even though it covers that requirement. So you will see down at the bottom here, the total tabulation of credits, if you followed this and did exactly what I would have done, would be 43 credits for the Gen Eds. And on the Study side, it would be 40 credits for the Gen Eds. And because of that, the majority of the rest of these plans are built out with about 80 credits that you're doing within the plan. So you'll see that in just a moment as I go through the different tabs. When you are doing Study, I would highly recommend you do business math at Study. Business math is going to be one of the easiest maths for you to do, but it is also one of the most applicable maths for you, because it will be able to be used in the BBA plan. It's also able to be used in the business administration minor. So I definitely recommend considering doing business math. Okay, on to the BBA tab. So this tab is all of the Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration concentrations included. And you need to do the Gen Ed tab, and then you'll come over to this tab. But beyond your business administration and whichever concentration you select, you're probably going to need somewhere between 10 and 12 elective courses, not credits, courses. So about 30 to 36 elective credits. It just kind of depends on what you're doing, where you're doing it, and how it's factoring into your plan, but you should be able to pull those numbers together pretty easily with the credit columns. In this, I have marked out what you can do at Sophia and Study and Straighter Line and Sailor. I have these plans built where if it is available at Sophia, then it is marked to do at Sophia. If it's available at Study as an alternative, it's marked to do at Study. If it's not available at Sophia, then it's going to be marked to do at Study or Straighter Line or Sailor. So as you go down the list, these are just kind of your options of where you can do certain courses. And then you're going to have a handful of things that you cannot do anywhere but UMPI, unless you were maybe transferring it in from another college. But remember, this is all as if we were building it from scratch, no other prior schooling. So anything that's marked UMPI only, you can only do at UMPI. Now, you must do 30 credits at UMPI. That is their residency requirement for you to be able to obtain a degree with them. So within that, you kind of have to factor that in, and you might be picking and choosing. Okay, maybe I'll do organizational communication at UMPI instead of at Straighterline, and then I'll do business operations management at Sailor Academy instead, or something like that, right? So you've just got to figure out which 10 are you going to pick. The other thing I want to note is in the BBA, 440 could be done through a Coursera certification, and that certification is worth 12 credits, so it's going to cover 440, plus it's going to give you 9 elective credits. That said, this is a pretty hefty certification, and my recommendation would be to take 440 at UMPI. The other reason I would say that is because 353, 440, and 469, so these three can also, I'm going to bold those, can also be rolled up to the Master of Arts in Organizational Leadership. And 440 has a lot of equivalency within the Masters of Science in Business degrees as well. So definitely want to consider just doing those 3 at UMPI and not bumping out to some of the other providers for those. So everyone who wants a BBA is going to do this part, and then you're going to pick your concentration from the various concentrations here in the lower levels. And you can just delete out anything that you're not going to use. And then on to a few of the other degrees. So the healthcare admin Bachelor of Science, I have actually built this out completely. This is from scratch, top to bottom, everything you need. This is one of those degrees that has a lot of weird overlaps between the gen eds and the degree plan. So it's just a lot easier for someone to come in here and be able to see everything that they need for this particular one. There aren't as many options, you're just kind of going to have to get through it. And even when it comes down to the electives, your electives are basically all kind of built into this plan for you. For the BA accounting, you would still need to do the gen eds. Once again, you might have some overlap. There are a few things that kind of do overlap in certain plans, but this plan is like pretty straightforward. You're going to do all of the BA accounting portion, and then you're going to have a few additional electives to get you to your total of 120 credits. I did note that just see the equivalency tabs for the course names. Financial accounting is straightforward across every platform. It's just financial accounting, but sometimes the names are a little bit different. So just take a look at the equivalency tabs for the specific provider, Straighterline, Sailor, etc., and that'll help you. BA Psychology, very similar, kind of top to bottom. You need your GEC, and then you have a lot of electives to kind of fill in to get you to the 120 total. But the BA Psychology, it's also a really great degree to utilize a lot more at study.com with, because you're going to need social and abnormal psychology at study.com no matter what. Those are the only places you can take those to. So why not throw in your statistics or your human growth and development, lifespan development, or intro to psychology while you're utilizing that month. And maybe you might even have some room for some additional electives, or you may want to do some of the gen ed at study as well. So just consider that. And then the BA history, a little bit more on that study as well, because that's really the only place you can do upper level history courses. But you do have some things that you can do at Sophia built into this plan as well. Though US history too, you can also do that at study. And let me mark that really quick. As you come down into the plan, you're going to have a lot of electives. And I have also noted the courses that you can do at study for those upper level history credits. And I have within this plan, within the various tabs, I have a lot of links to study.com where you can save 10% on your first month. So please utilize that. I want you to be able to save as much as possible through this process. So please do that. And I'm really grateful that they were able to get a code to me that I can share with folks. These I have kind of broken out, and we'll get to the BLSs in a moment, but these are all of the different equivalents. So you've got Sophia, all the different things that come in there and how they transfer in, study.com, Sailor Academy, and Straighterline. Now, Sailor and Straighterline, if things were available over at Sophia, I don't have them built into the Sailor and Straighterline tabs. there's really not any logical reason that you would do them at Sailor and Straighter Line if you could do them at Sophia, or honestly, even at Study. I would not do them at Sailor and Straighter Line if they're available at the two other spots. And then I also have the Coursera equivalent. So Coursera offers certifications, and some of their certifications, you can also get college credit for them. The breakdown of that is a little bit different per certification, but a lot of them do cover your upper levels. And one of my favorite certifications is this digital marketing e-commerce certificate, gets you 9 credits of upper level business 433. So that one is a really phenomenal one for the folks that are considering the BLS. That might be something to think about. And on to the BLS plan. So the way that the BLS is structured, so this is a Bachelor of Liberal Studies. You must take at least one minor with this, and I've broken this out into a few different minors. There are other minors. I kind of go with the high level, what most people request. If you want something beyond that, you know where to find me. We can do a custom plan. The BLS, you have a couple of things you could do at Sophia. You have a lot of things you could do at study.com. You have a good number of things that you would just end up doing at UMPI to get your 10 courses satisfied. So follow these plans and just know that you can be a lot more flexible. They are a liberal studies degree, so it's really what you want to study. They can be a lot more flexible with the classes that you're transferring in. You could do some Coursera certifications. You know, these are really a lot more customizable to what you want to learn about, which is really nice. But the minor is pretty much the same, you know, no matter what. Your BLS is a lot more flexible. You can flex in what you want. But the minors are going to be a very standard list of courses that you have to complete. So this is the psychology. We have criminal justice built in here. I also have like the management minor, and as we kind of go across, I've built in the education minor, the accounting minor, project management minor, management information systems minor, and you know, my biggest recommendation would be don't just do one minor. You should really consider doing multiple minors so that in that second minor, you're also fulfilling some of the BLS upper level credits. I personally really like a business administration minor as the first minor, and then some of these others as your second minor. I'm not building that into the sheet. I know someone's going to ask me about it. It's just too complicated to try to explain to someone without a true conversation. And but if it's something that you want, once again, we'll be happy to chat with you about a custom plan. And then on the timelines tab, these are just my timelines. They seem to be pretty consistent with what people are still experiencing, even a couple of years later. But yeah, I hope that this helps, and I hope this spreadsheet is a really great resource for you. If you have any questions, I really, really would rather have a conversation with people. If you go to my website, it's plottedpath.com. And if you are on here, you can click for a free consult. This will take you to my Calendly. If none of these times work, you can shoot me an email. It's just plottedpath@gmail.com. And, you know, I have times available, usually within, you know, a day or two of you looking, there's something available. I am in Eastern Standard Time, and I recognize not everybody is. So if these times don't work, please reach out. My calendar is a bit more flexible than this if I need to find a time that would work for the two of us to chat. And I really, really wish you all the best at UMPI. I could answer a million questions, but I think that an almost 20-minute long video walking through this massive spreadsheet is probably more than anyone wanted to listen to me speak of. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great journey as you pursue your degree.